Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details, P and B spoilers. Will Ivy's tragic fate change everything? Will she die saving Elektra from Remy? The bold and the beautiful B and B. Spoilers and updates tease Ivy Forrester, Ashley Brewer, may find herself in a perilous situation due to a recent commitment she made. In the episode airing on November 13, Ivy pledged to exhaust all her resources to safeguard Elektra Forrester, Linnea Grace, who is understandably anxious about the possibility of her former stalker resurfacing. Remy Price, Christian Weissman, has been digging into Elektra's online presence and has just come across the press release revealing her location in Los Angeles. With Remy asserting that Elektra can't escape his notice, he is poised to disrupt her life once more. Meanwhile, Ivy is determined to uphold her promise to safeguard Elektra at all costs. As Ivy's cherished niece, Elektra has her aunt ready to face any challenge, even if it means facing serious consequences. However, Ivy's commitment carries a foreboding tone, suggesting we should brace ourselves for potential turmoil ahead. The CBS soap is known for its dramatic twists, often featuring shocking character exits. Could Ivy be the next to meet a tragic fate? In a conversation with Deadline last September, B and B head writer and executive producer Bradley Bell expressed the challenges of bidding farewell to beloved characters, acknowledging sometimes it's a necessary part of storytelling. To maintain our credibility as writers, we have to make tough decisions and let some characters go, Bell stated. I make it a point each year to increase the stakes and eliminate more characters. Last summer, B&B captivated audiences with a murder mystery that led to the shocking departure of Tom's star, Clint Howard, followed by the death of Paul Hollis Hollister, Hollis W. Chambers. Eliminating Ivy would have significant implications, as she is far from a disposable character. Being a Forrester, her fate would resonate deeply with many. However, considering Ivy hasn't been a central figure for a while, this could be a strategic move to remove a key character without sacrificing one of the main stars. Alternatively, Ivy might face a kidnapping or severe injury due to Remy's actions. There's a chance she could end up in a coma, battling for her life in the hospital. Regardless of the outcome, it seems likely that Ivy will find herself in peril due to her commitment to protecting Elektra. The glittering cityscape of Los Angeles had always held secrets, but none as dark as the one about to shatter lives forever. Ivy Forrester, the sophisticated designer with a fierce loyalty to her family, had been drawn into a web of intrigue that even she couldn't untangle. Her connection to the enigmatic Elektra, a rising star in the Forrester Creations portfolio, was about to test the limits of Ivy's courage and compassion. And then there was Remy, a man as dangerous as he was magnetic, with an agenda that could destroy them all. A friendship bound by secrets. Ivy had always been a rock for those she loved, and Elektra was no exception. The young model had a troubled past, but Ivy saw something more, a spark of resilience that could light up the fashion world. Their friendship grew quickly, a sisterly bond forged in late-night design sessions and whispered confessions. But Elektra's past wasn't content to stay buried. It came roaring back in the form of Remy, a shadowy figure from her days in Paris. Remy's charm belied his menace. He claimed to want Elektra back, not just in his life, but under his control. But the threat was clear. If Elektra didn't comply, her darkest secrets would be splashed across every tabloid from Le to Milan. Ivy, never one to back down from a fight, promised to protect Elektra. We'll figure this out, she had said, her voice steady despite the dread pooling in her stomach. But even Ivy didn't fully grasp the lengths Remy was willing to go, or the danger it would bring to her own life. Remy's ultimatum. The Forrester mansion was the scene of an extravagant party that night, but the elegance was a thin veneer over mounting tension. Electra clung to Ivy's side, her usual confidence replaced by a palpable fear. Ivy, sensing the storm brewing, kept a watchful eye on the room. She didn't have to wait long. Remy arrived, his presence like a cold wind slicing through the warmth of the party. He was dressed impeccably, his smile disarming, but his eyes were sharp and calculating. He approached Electra with the predatory grace of a wolf cornering its prey. "Ivy," he said smoothly, acknowledging her with a nod. "You're quite the protector, aren't you?" "Electra doesn't need protecting," Ivy replied, her tone firm. "She's not going anywhere with you." Remy's smile widened, but his eyes darkened. "You have no idea what you're stepping into." What followed was a tense exchange that left Ivy more determined than ever to shield Electra, but also more aware of the peril they faced. Remy wasn't just a scorned lover. He was a man with connections and a ruthless streak that could make him unstoppable. The plan. Ivy knew they needed leverage against Remy. With the help of Carter Walton, who had recently rekindled his friendship with Ivy, they began digging into Remy's past. What they found was damning. Evidence of shady deals and criminal associations that could ruin him if made public. But as they worked to gather proof, Remy was always a step ahead. He seemed to anticipate their moves, thwarting their efforts at every turn. The tension escalated, culminating in a chilling phone call. "Ivy," Remy's voice drawled through the receiver, "if you want Electra to stay safe, meet me tonight. Alone." Against Carter's advice, Ivy agreed. She couldn't risk Electra's safety, even if it meant walking into a trap. The showdown. The meeting took place at an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of Leh. The setting was ominous, the air thick with the scent of rust and decay. Ivy arrived first, her heart pounding, but her resolve unshaken. She had sent Electra and Carter a cryptic message about her location, just in case things went wrong. Remy appeared moments later, his figure cutting an imposing silhouette against the dim light. He wasn't alone. His two henchmen flanked him, their expressions as cold and unyielding as steel. "Where's Electra?" Ivy demanded, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her veins. "She's safe for now," Remy replied. "But that depends on you." The confrontation escalated quickly. Ivy refused to back down, her fiery determination matching Remy's icy menace. When he lunged for her, she fought back with everything she had, but the odds weren't in her favor. Just as it seemed Remy might overpower her, a sudden commotion erupted. Electra and Carter burst into the warehouse, the element of surprise giving them a brief advantage. Electra's courage shone as she confronted Remy, but her defiance only enraged him further. In the chaos, Remy grabbed Electra, his grip unyielding as he dragged her toward a precarious ledge overlooking a deep pit. Ivy's sacrifice. Time seemed to slow as Ivy assessed the situation. She saw the fear in Electra's eyes, the danger in Remy's unrelenting hold. And she knew what she had to do. Summoning every ounce of strength, Ivy launched herself at Remy. The impact sent all three of them tumbling toward the edge. Ivy managed to push Electra to safety, but she couldn't save herself. She teetered on the brink for a heart-stopping moment before slipping over the edge. The silence that followed was deafening. Aftermath. Electra's scream echoed through the warehouse, a raw sound of anguish and guilt. Carter rushed to the edge, his face stricken as he called down to Ivy. For a moment, there was nothing, no sound, no movement. Then a faint groan reached their ears. "She's alive," Carter shouted, relief flooding his voice. Emergency services arrived moments later, pulling Ivy from the pit. She was battered and broken, but alive, a miracle in itself. As she was rushed to the hospital, Electra stayed by her side, tears streaming down her face. A changed future. In the days that followed, Ivy's heroic act became the talk of Los Angeles. Her bravery had not only saved Electra, but also exposed Remy's crimes, leading to his arrest. The bond between Ivy and Electra deepened, their friendship now unbreakable. But the ordeal left scars, physical and emotional. Ivy faced a long road to recovery, and the experience changed her forever. She became more introspective, more aware of life's fragility. And while the Forrester family rallied around her, Ivy couldn't shake the feeling that her life's purpose had shifted. B&B spoilers, Tuesday, November 19. Hope and Steffy won't back down. The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers for Tuesday, November 19, 2024, tease a stalemate between Hope and Steffy that might never thaw. Rich Forrester, Thorsten K., is forever the middleman between Steffy Forrester Finnegan, Jacqueline McSinswood, and Hope Logan, Annika Noel. The sometimes stepsisters and always frenemies always seem to be at odds. This time, Steffy finally shut down Hope's virginal fashion line and kicked her to the curb, or at least the Forrester Creations curb. Rich tries to reason with Steffy and get her to change her mind, but Steffy hates those Logan women and wants them out of their lives. Rich reminds Steffy that Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, is his fiancée and helped raise her. The Logans are a part of Forrester Creations, whether Steffy likes it or not. Steffy is also sure that Hope is holding something over Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, and that's why he has had such a change in attitude lately. There's no way Carter isn't acting this way without Hope calling the shots. Little does Steffy know what is really going on. Now that Hope has convinced Carter to sign his name to the LLC papers, effectively making him the new owner of FC, Carter feels guilty. He is not sure he did the right thing, but Hope is positive this is the correct move. Hope does her best to convince Carter that they deserve to have a piece of the SC pie, even the entire pie after the way the Forresters have treated him and the Logans through the years. She is not about to let them get away with it. Meanwhile, Brooke defends her daughter to John Finnegan, Tanner Novlin. He is sure there is something very wrong with Hope mentally and believes she is showing stalker vibes. Will Brooke betray Hope's confidence and tell Finn that Hope and Carter are together now and she is not interested in him at all? Brooke usually has a big mouth. Maybe she should use it this time. As for Electra, she vowed to honor Ivy's sacrifice by living authentically and fearlessly. Together, they forged a new path, one where friendship and resilience triumphed over darkness. But in the world of the bold and the beautiful, peace is always fleeting. And as Ivy healed, whispers of a new threat began to circulate, hinting that their ordeal was far from over. The morning sun streamed through the large windows of Forrester Creations, casting a golden glow on the bustling office. Yet, amidst the usual hum of creativity, an unmistakable tension simmered. Today wasn't just another day of the office. It was a showdown in the making. Hope's determination. Hope Logan entered the executive meeting room with purpose in her stride. Clad in a sleek white blazer and pencil skirt, she radiated confidence, a woman on a mission. Her eyes sparkled, but not with joy. They held a fiery resolve, tempered by weeks of frustration. Hope had spent countless nights strategizing, refining her vision for Hope for the future. After months of feeling overshadowed by Steffy's rise at Forrester, today was her chance to make her voice heard. Her designs, her ideas, her leadership, everything was riding on this pitch. "Good morning, everyone," Hope said as she placed her tablet on the table. She glanced around at the gathered Forrester executives, her mother Brooke offering an encouraging smile from the corner. Then her gaze fell on Steffy. Steffi Forrester sat at the opposite end of the table, her expression unreadable. But the subtle lift of her eyebrow and the faint smirk tugging at her lips spoke volumes. She was ready for whatever Hope was about to throw at her. Steffi's confidence. Steffi had been in this game long enough to know when the stakes were high. Dressed in a bold black jumpsuit that emphasized her power and poise, she looked every bit the formidable leader she had become. "Let's not waste any time," Steffi said, her voice calm yet commanding. "I've already outlined my plans for the upcoming season. But if Hope thinks she has something to add, I'm open to hearing it." The subtle jab wasn't lost on Hope, who tightened her grip on her tablet. "This isn't about adding," Hope countered, her voice steady but sharp. "It's about leading. Hope for the future deserves the spotlight this season, and I'm ready to prove why." The room fell silent as the two women locked eyes. This wasn't just about fashion, it was personal. Months of professional rivalry, family drama, and lingering resentment boiled beneath the surface. A heated exchange. As Hope presented her vision, she detailed how her line could redefine Forrester's brand, emphasizing sustainability and ethical practices. Her passion was evident, her arguments compelling. Even Ridge Forrester, who had been skeptical of Hope's push for control, seemed impressed. But Steffi wasn't about to let Hope steal the spotlight without a fight. "I appreciate your enthusiasm, Hope," Steffi said, leaning forward. "But Intimates has been a proven success. It's what's driving sales, expanding our market, and solidifying Forrester's reputation globally. Your line is idealistic, but is it realistic?" Hope's cheeks flushed, but she didn't falter. "The numbers don't lie, Steffi. Hope for the future is gaining traction, especially with younger demographics. It's about innovation and long-term growth, not just short-term gains. And what happens when your ideals don't translate to profits?" Steffi shot back. "This is a business, Hope, not a charity." The room tensed as their voices rose, their words cutting deeper with each exchange. Ridge's attempts to mediate fell flat, and even Brooke's occasional interjections couldn't quell the storm brewing between the two women. The personal bleeds into the professional. Outside the meeting room, Liam Spencer stood awkwardly by the coffee machine, listening to the muffled argument. His expression was a mix of exasperation and guilt. He had tried to be Switzerland in the ongoing battle between Hope and Steffi, but neutrality was becoming increasingly difficult. "Are they at it again?" Thomas Forrester approached, his smug grin adding to Liam's unease. "Not the time, Thomas," Liam muttered, but Thomas wasn't deterred. "Just saying, it's fascinating how two brilliant women keep tearing each other apart over the same things: control, validation, and, oh yeah, you." Liam shot Thomas a warning look, but didn't respond. The truth stung, and he couldn't deny his role in the complicated dynamics between Hope and Steffi. Back in the meeting room, the discussion reached a boiling point. "This isn't just about the lines, Steffi," Hope said, her voice trembling with emotion. "It's about the respect I deserve as a leader. I've fought for this company, for my vision, and for my family. I won't let you undermine me." Steffi's eyes narrowed. "And you think I haven't fought? Every day I prove myself, not just as a designer, but as a Forrester. You talk about respect, Hope, but you expect it handed to you without understanding what it takes to earn it." The tension was palpable, the air thick with unresolved grievances. Ridge steps in. "Enough." Ridge's voice cut through the room like a knife. He stood, his expression one of frustration and authority. "This isn't how we do things. You're both talented, passionate, and integral to Forrester. But this constant infighting is tearing us apart." Hope and Steffi reluctantly sat down, though their fiery gazes remained locked on each other. Ridge sighed, rubbing his temples. We're going to make a decision, and it's going to be based on what's best for Forrester, not personal vendettas, he said firmly. We'll review both proposals and decide by the end of the week. The aftermath. As the meeting adjourned, Hope and Steffi lingered, their earlier bravado replaced by a simmering tension. This isn't over, Hope said, her voice low but resolute. It never is, Steffi replied with a slight smirk before walking away. Liam, who had been waiting nervously outside, approached Hope. How'd it go? Hope sighed, her shoulders slumping. Exactly how you'd expect. Steffi and I aren't backing down. But I'm not giving up, Liam. Not this time. Meanwhile, Steffi returned to her office, her mind racing. She knew Hope wouldn't back down, and truthfully, she didn't want her to. Their rivalry pushed her to be better, sharper, stronger. But it also came at a cost she wasn't sure she was willing to keep paying. As the day ended, one thing was clear. The battle between Hope and Steffi was far from over. Both women were determined to claim their place at Forrester Creations, no matter the personal or professional fallout. The bold and the beautiful spoilers. Hope and Carter morph into Bonnie and Clyde in nutsensical plot. The bold and the beautiful B&B. Spoilers indicate that Carter Walton, Lawrence St. Victor, has been sliding down a slippery slope for days. This being a soap opera, it's not out of line to ask if he has a brain tumor. That's how outrageous his behavior has become. First of all, Carter is the latest man to fall for Hope Logan, Annika Noel, which is bad enough. Next, he started championing her hope for the future design line at FC. That was a definite demerit in boss lady Steffi Forrester's, Jacqueline Mathinswood, eyes. Because of Carter, in a roundabout way, Steffi fired Hope, and now these two schemers are on to the heist of a lifetime. Hijacking Forrester Creations for their own. It's as ill-fated as Bonnie and Clyde robbing banks. Nothing good can come of it, and there's no future in crime. Basically, in a Friday Wow cliffhanger, Carter explained to Hope that he could take over FC because he has the documents forming an LLC. He is the FC lawyer, and Ridge Forrester, Thorsten K. and Steffi never look at his legal documents. They just sign them. That's how much they trust him. Carter said that if he puts his name on the LLC documents, he will be in charge of FC. Easy peasy. Carter sounded like a kindergartner explaining he's invisible when he closes his eyes. And yet Hope was all in with his ludicrous logic. Yes, 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 she breathed, do it. How can Carter think that forgery, espionage, and hostile takeovers are in everyone's best interests? And he's a lawyer, so this is doubly dumb. As you might expect, this bombshell plot has fans divided. Sure, Steffi is a viper and Ridge is her handler. But do they deserve to be betrayed and taken advantage of if Carter follows through with his plan? And if Hope and Carter proceed like with their scheme, won't they land in jail? At the very least, Steffi will rush out to buy more pins for her Hope doll. No matter how this plot twist resolves, the anger is thick at FC. Carter has shown what he's capable of, and Hope is squawking about payback. Forrester Creations looks to be a hopped of chaos in the coming days, right in the middle of November sweeps. Tell us, B and B fans, what do you think Carter and Hope deserve after the way they've been treated by the Forresters?